Well, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad Lisa brought you guys to my attention and Chris's attention, and I was like, we should have them on.
Yeah, Lisa's the best.
I've known her for years, so when she lived in Chicago, I used to go to shows and see her at shows all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm Jessica.
I'm
Nice
Chris.
to meet you. I'm Zach.
All right, we got that out. I'm actually going to have you introduce yourself again
Yeah,
and
no worries.
everything. So please introduce yourself and the role you play in the band.
I'm Zach. I sing in When the Sun Sets.
All right. So what is the band's origin story? Was there a pivotal moment that created a spark that helped start you on this journey?
Yeah, so I started as like an acoustic solo artist. So I was just playing out like that, and I started playing shows. Like I took to pop punk when I was young, so I started playing shows with pop punk covers just on acoustic guitars, and I started to get onto like national shows with like bands I was listening to, like Carousel Kings and like a couple others. And I just like decided I was like, well, I mean, if I'm already covering the stuff, I'm writing the stuff on acoustic guitar, I might as well just do it, you know. And then we just started when I was 18 years old, just in high school, just a bunch of us, and yeah, we just tried to make the dream come alive.
I mean, you're kind of doing it.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it for sure.
And when did you realize for the first time that you wanted to be a musician?
I've been playing music since I was like probably 3 or 4 years old. Just like I started with drums, and then I went to guitar and sang. It's kind of just always been in my family. My grandpa was a singer, and my dad played in bands growing up. So just something I always grew up around concerts, and yeah.
And so the band has released three EPs. Between your first EP that was released in 2019, and then you had one in 2020, and then you had the latest one, which was this year. How would you say the sound has progressed throughout the years for those releases?
I think at the beginning I was just cutting my teeth as a writer. I had no feedback from anybody else that I was working with, so it was just kind of whatever I said went. And um, I noticed like in the second EP, Transparent, I started getting feedback, at least from my producer and like engineer while we were recording, like, hey, you should deliver this a little bit better, and you can work on this. And when you start getting feedback like that, it helps you build your build your character, and it helps you, like it helped me a lot with my voice. I wasn't like a super confident singer, and I really didn't know how to polish my writing. So I think in this latest EP there was just a lot of like collaboration with my bandmates, and bouncing things off of our producer, and like it's really a group effort. So
Yeah. Chris.
Well, so sorry, we're arguing on the side. The AirPod audio seems to be like dropping in quality as we're going. I don't know if you want to try the microphone again or
Yeah, sorry. We were like, it's like doing this like vibrational sound or something.
yeah.
hey, one sec. If I can kill this, I think that's it.
I'm like, geez, Chris, trying to
We're
put
just
me
over
on the
here
spot.
arguing like children.
Yeah, no, I have a filter. All right, so I have a dog that's crazy. Noise machine for her. And my camera audio doesn't pick that up usually, but I forgot I was on the AirPods, so that's definitely gonna pick it up. Is this any better?
Oh,
About the same.
Oh
hmm.
God, I'm having all kinds of audio issues.
It's okay. We had someone at the end of our interview like lose video and audio all at one time.
No, 100%.
It
They
happens.
they came back for the last question.
And it wasn't even a big question.
Well,
All right, let's see if we're working.
All right.
I have two.
Oh my goodness. Does this setup work now?
Actually, that's way better.
That's crazy. That's actually what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, there's no pop and it sounds good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh man. So like
Well, it's
take
nice to
three.
not have. Yeah, let's do it again. Run it back.
I really got to get one of those little scene cut things.
I had one at work, but it had like Disney stuff on it, and I'm like,
Oh.
nah, I
Oh, that
just
would have
want
been
a
great.
normal one.
Like Frozen?
No, it just
Mickey?
said Disney World.
Oh, yeah, no.
I sent it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember stuff you send me.
All right, let's get this back on track now.
Okay.
Now that there's no popping and no vibrations. So I have listened to all your songs, and I think Chris has listened to
I have.
probably all of them.
Yep.
There were a few though that I found myself putting on repeat more. Like I wanted to listen to them over and over again. Those songs were Dissonance, Seasons, and Shapeshifter. What songs do you feel are ones fans have mentioned the most, and do you have any favorites of your own?
I think Seasons and Shapeshifter are two favorites that we've heard, like being out on the road and then people just hitting us up in social media. I think for us, some of the ones like you were saying, Dissonance, that one, Complicated, and then we have a new one that just came out, Honest. Like those ones hit really hard for us, just like on a personal level with just what we wrote them about. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It's cool that it's very diverse. Like people love all the songs, but there's some like you're saying that they'll spin on repeat, and like Seasons and Shapeshifter have been big ones. I think it helps that we collaborated with like some great artists in the scene that we've been friends with for a little bit, like 408 and the Home Team. So I think that definitely helps too. Like some of their fans were like, "Oh my gosh, like hey, I like this band," you know, and we love the collaboration with them. So
Speaking of the Home Team, fun little fact. As I was listening to the entire library, when I came across that one where you did collaborate with the Home Team, I was actually physically driving by a bar that is called the Home Team Pub. As that came up, I'm like, no way.
wow,
It's
that's
funny how
crazy.
that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah. All right. You mentioned your latest single, Honest, which was released last week, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm not correct. It was the second. How has that song been received by fans?
It's been great. We've had a lot of people hit us up and be like, this is actually like one of my favorites since like Seasons came out. And it's like it's been a really positive response, and we went a different direction with it. Like we had some new metal spins in parts of it, and just kind of like going off of the stuff we grew up on, and it was received pretty well. So
Yeah.
we're super happy about that.
I really like the song too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good song. I've listened now to a bunch of your stuff and I'm like already learning some of the words. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was very late to the party, admittedly. I'm very bad at planning with interviews. So but ever since 10 a.m. this morning, it's been on repeat.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
So
Well, thank you so much.
not a problem. So I believe you said that I read somewhere that you're planning a full length. Is it still in development, or do you have like a hopeful release? Probable. I doubt an actual date would be, but like a month.
Yeah, I don't even know if we're that far. Honestly, we're over halfway done with the recording process with it, but we're just trying to make sure that we have everything buttoned up and ready to go. Just to see if we're gonna develop like with a label or something like that. So I'm thinking probably like late summer, fall of next year. But we're gonna be releasing singles every like 10 weeks or so. Just to keep people on their toes and see what they're gonna be expecting in a full length.
So talking about music and writing and everything, what is your writing process like?
It's a little different for every song. Like lately I've been changing it up, but it used to always be me sitting down on an acoustic guitar. Um, Now I have like a little home studio, and we always start with like instrumentals. I write lyrics kind of on my own, like when I'm inspired. They don't always have to be to like melodies or anything. So I'll just write like a chunk of words and then I'll polish it up when I see like that it fits with a tune that we're working on. So we always just like sit down and see where everybody's at in their lives, and we kind of pick the vibe for that song. So
Nice.
So what is an unexpected source of inspiration for a piece of music that you've created?
oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I tend to ask the hard questions.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think in honest, and like some of the stuff that we're going to be releasing, I think we have like a little bit of like that new metal vibe, like the newer stuff that Falling in Reverse, Papa Roach, stuff like that is doing. So I think we're kind of blending a little bit. That's kind of where the inspiration came from, was like Papa Roach, and bands like that we grew up on. So that's kind of like an out there inspiration that nobody probably would have guessed from some of our new stuff. So
Is there anything you've learned about yourself through creating music?
yeah, I've learned to be open. I mean, music is as a lyricist, like it's hard not to be open. I guess there's a lot of writers that write about certain topics that they might not be totally experienced in, but I think for the most part, people write from the heart. So over the years, it's just I've learned to like be more open about my mental health and the struggles I'm going through, because chances are other people are going through them at the same time. So
Yeah. So do you have any musical influences, or are you, you know, not influenced by anyone?
I think we're all spread out. For me, I like A Day to Remember was a big influence for me. State Champs, and I think for our bassist, it was older school bands like Newfound Glory and Sum 41 and bands of that era. So I think just like blending the classic pop punk with the modern style is like it's a really good clash with all of the different areas we pull from.
So I'm going to twist that question a little bit more. As a setup to the scenario, Johnny Depp says he got his inspiration for Jack Sparrow from Keith Richards' stage presence. Do you have any inspiration for your stage presence?
I think it's probably like somebody like State Champs or Fall Out Boy. We like to keep the energy super super high during our shows. I mean, at the end of the day, like if people aren't going to come out to see you, like it's really hard to make it as a band. And so like we really make it a point to give it all we have every single night. Just because we're super grateful to even be doing it. So yeah, I think the biggest inspiration were bands like Fall Out Boy and State Champs, and yeah,
Nice. I mean, I definitely hear the influences.
thank
Yeah,
you.
and honestly, so I when I did listen, the first thing that I don't remember the first song I listened to, but my immediate thing that hit was it really sounds like they're influenced by 4 Year Strong. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And then I've been trying to pin the second band that it sounds like is a heavy influence, and I still can't pin it. Even my wife was like, man, they sound like something else, and I can't put my finger on it. But I think that's where the State Champs was coming through a little bit, like
Yeah,
maybe a little bit like Neck Deep kind of
yeah.
thing.
Neck Deep is one of my favorites too. So yeah,
So
yeah, we've
yeah,
pulled inspiration from a lot of those bands from that era.
Yeah, people definitely get influenced by other people. And you definitely
Oh,
know someone,
100%.
you definitely can tell, like, I'm trying to think of the word, like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know. I'm but when it came to like as soon as I heard like that similarity or like linear to 4 Year Strong, I'm a sucker for easycore. Like just
Yeah,
that whole
yeah,
genre, as short lived and as few bands are in it. I
yeah,
love it.
100%.
Yeah, that's
It's
like
starting to make a little comeback with the crossover.
that was the first thing that Chris said to me, was like, "Oh, it's like easy core, 4 Year Strong."
Yeah.
When he finally
Yeah,
listened.
Well, before it was like an actual thing, before they started calling it easycore and 4 Year Strong kind of pioneered it, they were calling it beardcore because all the guys
oh
had
my
long
goodness,
beards. Yeah.
that's
Before it
funny.
got the official easy core label. I thought that was funny.
There's a lot of pop punk bands that are incorporating easycore now.
Yeah, there was a band way back in the day. So I'm in Syracuse, New York. There was a band from Syracuse that incorporated like breakdowns into pop punk. I want to say it must have been like '05. And there was an interview with them, and they said something along the lines of, they're not breakdowns, they're beat ups. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's funny.
How does that even work?
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's a band that's doing that right now from California called Good Terms, and they're bringing the easycore back. It's awesome.
Oh,
I'll have to check
Chris,
them out.
you'll
Yeah,
have to check them
I'll have
out
to check it out now.
Yeah,
He
they're
will.
awesome.
I will.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Listen, especially with the Easy Core, a 4-year strong tattoo was my first tattoo that I got. So
Hell yeah.
come on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, you're a sucker for it. You're right.
Yeah. Yep.
So we discussed this earlier that we heard about you guys from our good friends Lisa and Justine at Stereotherapy, and I did listen to the interview that she had you on for. You guys are big advocates for mental health awareness. Have you had any fans reach out or open up to you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot as we've been doing these weekenders through the Midwest and beyond. We've talked to a lot of people. We're very open. Like, we'll go to the merch table, and we have a lot of people come up to us and they say, "Hey, like, I was really struggling," and it helped to know somebody else is going through that. And we have fans that reach out to us on social media all the time and chat with us about struggles they're going through and like how our music has helped them or is helping them. And we just try to help guide them in the right direction. We work with a couple organizations out of Chicago for mental health, and we just always pass the resources along at every show and in our social media to people.
Yeah. For listeners' purposes, which organizations?
So Hope for the Day is our big one. And we also do one that's just Chicago area called the Mental Health Association of Greater Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's good that there's bands out there putting out like music and trying to help with awareness for that kind of stuff, because there needs to be more for sure.
Yeah. I don't think
Go ahead.
I don't think bands really realize that some of these organizations are willing to give resources. Like Hope for the Day has been super nice and provided us with all the resources that we have, like wristbands and stickers and business cards and stuff for free, just to get the message out, because we're all in it for the same thing. So, I mean, I think if anybody's in a band and you have somebody or an organization that you're looking at, just go for it. I mean, ask.
Yeah.
I was going to go off our planned path just a little bit because we're on this subject. And this is something that I've struggled with for a long time too. I mean, not to go too deep into it, but like panic disorder since age 13. I mean, various medications throughout the years, therapy, all that good stuff. But not to go too far off that tangent. I don't know if you listen to Beartooth or not.
Yeah.
But what do you think about their Positive Metal album that they just released? It's like, I don't know if you've listened to the most recent one yet or not.
Don't think so.
It's all about mental health positivity, more or less.
I've been seeing that on like Caleb's Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is wild. Definitely give it a listen. I'm sure like Riptide was like the first one that they had put out.
Yeah.
I think
I've heard the singles.
Think I Might Love Myself was like the second single, but like the whole album is like that. And
Wow.
like to see a metal band come around and make an album like that, it's something that the scene has needed for a long time.
100%.
But it's great when you have a chance to give it a listen. It's
awesome,
absolutely amazing for what they're doing.
Will do. Yeah, those guys are awesome, man. I'm super glad that they're doing that, like bringing positive records back into like metal, fully positive and being open about their own mental health, because that's something that especially in that scene is like not talked about enough.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to listen to it. I haven't actually listened to it yet, so yeah. So would you mind sharing with our listeners about your experiences, struggles, or triumphs that you've had over the years dealing with mental health? If not, it's totally okay though.
Yeah, no, of course. No, so when I was pretty young, probably in middle school, I started like dealing with anxiety and depression. And I don't think I told my parents until I was like 16, until it was getting really bad for me. I've done like years of therapy. I've been on several medications for this, and it's something that I've learned to not only overcome but be transparent about with others,
Mhm.
because your mental health changes. Like you're not going to be stuck in a rut forever. It doesn't mean you're going to be taking medications forever. It doesn't mean you're going to be seeing a therapist forever. But I mean, you need to treat it like a physical injury. I mean, people don't take the time to recover, from things that hurt their mental health. They don't take the time to rest. There's a lot of things that people don't realize take a toll on their actual mental health. So I think over the years, um, like I said, I've done a bunch of different things about my own, and I just figured I might as well share the experience and help people try to turn it around for themselves.
Yeah, see, I love that. One of our first episodes we did was with stereotherapy when we were starting out, and we kind of went into depth about that, and I kind of went through more in depth and shared more grim parts of my own journey. Um but one thing that I said I was shocked to learn about so far down the line was how much physical and like nutritional health played in to my anxiety and depression. I was always the kid who could pound a bag of Snickers in a sitting. And I mean a kid up until like age 28, okay?
Yeah.
So like but once I started like and I mentioned this to Lisa on the podcast, like it always makes me feel like a jerk for saying to somebody like, hey, if you're constantly in a rut, have you taken a look at what you're eating, or like, even getting out and like being active and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, because it changed so much for me. Like, so when long story short, like around when I was 30, I went to the doctor again. I was mentioning, I'm pounding like all this candy and like junk food constantly, and the doctor's like, hey, your A1C is awful, you're pretty much a diabetic now, so here's all this medicine. And I mean, like, I take all this medicine, I feel awful from taking it, like it made me feel even worse. um and I'm like, you know what, no, I'm just going to stop eating like garbage, because I know I'm eating like garbage, and I'm going to try and get active, whatever. And then the line in the sand was, I was still on all these medications, I had lost something like 27 pounds, I had to get a clearance for a surgery, I go to the doctor, I told him I stopped taking some of the medication to help, I think it was for blood pressure, which was fine, but he put me on one anyway. And I'm like, no, I stopped. He's like, well, if you're not going to take, you're going to be dead by the time you're 60. And I'm like, what? And so I got a different doctor. He's like, and as soon as I went to the other doctor, he's like, all your levels are fine. Stop taking medication, or it's going to do more harm than good. And so like, I tend to share that story. Like, it was really bad at my height, right around, I want to say it was 2013 was when it was the worst, before I went to therapy. I had a friend pull me out and say, hey, I know what you're going through, I haven't told anybody, but I go through this too. And she's like, go to therapy, try medication, it does help. But at that point, before she had convinced me, like, I was getting panic attacks like once every 2 hours, like it was like constant. So I, much like you said, being more transparent with how your mental health is, and at any time it's always changing. But being transparent, as soon as I started opening up and being like, hey, just so you know, I have this going on, and people were receptive to it, it took so much off. It took so much
Yeah.
of that burden off of your own shoulders that, you know, people understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's millions of us out there, that are going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing. I think people just don't realize that there are so many that are in your corner, you know?
Yeah, and don't be afraid to get a second opinion from another doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real. Be your own advocate.
100%.
100%. And also
Yeah.
that same thing when it comes to therapy. You're not going to find the right therapist your first go, more than likely.
Yeah, it is rarely the first time.
Yeah.
All right.
But you
So
stick with it. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, stick with it for sure. I'm gonna jump to a happier place. All
A
right.
less
So
serious question.
what are some of your favorite places to play? Either
I
either
think
a
for
general
us,
city or a
Or venue.
specific venue if you want.
I think for like cities, we like to Detroit is a big one for us. We've always had a ton of fun out there. Chicago, obviously. And then we recently just played Nashville. It's kind of like tough out there, but it was super fun. It was such a blast. We had a great group of people um on the band side of things, and we had a really good turnout. So it was a good first time there. I think like that's a place that we're gonna want to play a lot more.
Yeah. I've never been to Nashville, but I've definitely heard the music scene is skyrocketing
Yeah. Yeah, it's
there.
crazy out there.
So I'm sure lots of memorable things happen when you're on stage, but what is something that's happened while you were performing that's kind of embarrassing?
Oh, I mean, we fall over all the time. Like a lot of the time, like I said, we put like 110% of our energy on stage. So we don't exactly have that spatial awareness down yet. So I've gotten like, I mean, we fall over like once a show, but I've gotten hit with headstocks in the face, and oh my gosh, it's all kinds of stuff. Our last show, we just had our bassist just like lost his balance completely, fell right on the floor, didn't stop playing. It's fun. You leave it all out there, embarrassing or not, it's a blast.
I mean, he kept playing.
Yeah, I mean, he made it. He made it. He's like 6.5 feet tall. It was a long way down for him.
That is a long, long way down. My husband's 6'3", so I know how it is to be around a tall man.
I know. I'm only like 5'7", so yeah, he's a giant to me.
Oh, I'm taller than you then.
I'm a short one. I'm a short
Jess, I
one.
thought you were about to say my husband is 6'3". I know what it's like to make a tall man fall.
Oh, cheesy. I'm not that cheesy, although I do have a lot of dad jokes.
Yeah.
So, what do you hope that fans and listeners take away from your music?
I hope that people take away obviously the mental health aspect. I think a lot of our songs are about different things. We have songs about, getting fired from your job, or um missing something that you really love because of the pandemic. I really think whatever listeners find to connect themselves to the music, I think that's what we want to give them. We want to give them something that means more than just a song to them. We want it to feel like family. So
Yeah. I mean, I definitely noticed there was definitely different songs and different lyrics, and a lot of them hit differently for sure. And I could
thank
tell
you.
that some were from like about like, the typical like love, and then there's
Yeah.
also the mental health. So it's a nice combination and difference in the songs for sure.
Yeah, we try to be transparent about everything we're going through, and try to connect with as many people as we possibly can.
And that's what we're trying to do on the podcast, is connect with
There
as
we
many people
go.
as we can.
I love it. That's the goal.
We're trying. All right. So this one's fun. Okay. This one I okay. Normally I come up with all my own questions. I stole this one from AI, but I changed one of the elements to it. So if you could describe your music as a food, what food would it be?
Pizza, 100%. Quick. Pop punk and pizza go together so well.
What's your
I don't
favorite
know
kind of
why
pizza?
I couldn't give you. Oh, deep dish, Chicago deep dish. Doesn't matter what's on it, just as long as it's not mushrooms.
Oh, I like mushrooms.
I mean, you could put pineapple on it. You could put whatever.
I don't even like pineapple
No
on pizza.
mushrooms. You can't put it on deep dish. It's not good. Don't do it. Don't ruin a deep dish like that. Just get a cheese.
Chris, what's your favorite pizza?
Buffalo wing.
There you
Buffalo
go.
wing?
Yeah, buffalo wing pizza.
See, my husband and I go to Mod Pizza all the time,
Oh, there you go.
and I love like the barbecue chicken pizza,
Yup.
but I'm the weirdo that asks for the extra gorgonzola on it. For some reason, they're always like, "You want more?" And I'm like, yes, yes, I do.
You know who has a
Yeah.
really good pizza? And I'm not even kidding. Like Cece's Buffet puts out a mac
Oh,
and
yeah.
cheese pizza.
Oh
I was
yeah.
just gonna say that. Yeah, we used to have CC's out here. They closed them, but another place that's got a slept on mac and cheese pizza is Casey's. You would never guess it.
Oh, the gas station.
Yeah, you would never guess it.
Talking about mac and cheese pizza, my husband's obsessed with this pizza brand. I can't remember what it is, but we get it at Sendik's, and it's a mac and cheese pizza. It's a frozen one, but he like
Oh my
loves it.
gosh.
And it's always out of stock. And he's like, I think they double stocked it because it's been selling like crazy. So he had to pick one up the other day again. Quick Trip has good mac and cheese pizza as well. So,
I don't think I've had it.
well, I don't think there's any Quick Trips in Chicago area or in Illinois. I think they're all up
I
here.
think we've seen them. I think we've seen a couple as we've been on the road, but I don't remember exactly where.
I
There's
don't
like
have
We had
any
a
of
couple in
these.
Indy.
I know Chris is
I don't
like,
have any
I'm
of these.
too far. He's too
But-
far east to have any of these.
Yeah, my favorite pizza actually isn't a gas station, specifically in the basement of a gas station.
Oh,
It
that
seems so
sounds
sketch,
interesting.
but it's really good
Some
pizza.
of those hole in the wall places, like in the city, that's how it goes. It just says pizza on the
Yeah.
top, and you're like, all right, this is about to be really good.
Yeah, this place is like so upstairs in this gas station, it's a grocery store. And then
wow.
like the main thing is a gas station. But then there's also the pizza place in the basement. And the first time I went there, my neighbor told me about it. She's like, it's such great pizza. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go. And the first time I went in, I went up to the grocery area because I didn't see any basement to go into. I'm like, I'm here to get a pizza. They're like, yeah, you got to go in the basement. I'm like, where's that? And going to a grocery store and then being like, go in the basement,
Yeah,
little
that's
sketch.
yes, that is more than a little sketch.
I
Hey,
think
you made it though.
I
Yeah.
think there's only one pizza place I believe I've eaten at in the Chicago area, and that was Giordano's.
Oh yeah, Giordano's is the move. That's
Yeah.
the best deep dish.
I had a friend that worked there for a while, and he gave me one of their glasses, so I still have the glass. It's
That's
like a
awesome.
plastic cup, and I'm like, oh, I still have that. But yes, they do have good deep dish. I can attest to that. So enough about the pizza talk. We do have a little game we want to play. It's Wisconsin and New York facts, but we want you to guess which ones are Wisconsin facts and which ones are New York facts.
All right,
I know. We came up with this like right before this.
let's do
Not
it.
gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I'm in.
You want me to start, Jess?
Sure.
All right. Nearly 21 million gallons of ice cream are consumed within this state each year.
Wisconsin.
Ah, ding ding ding. You're
Yeah.
correct.
You do one, Jess.
This state is the leading producer of ginseng in the United States.
I don't even know what that is, so I'm gonna go New York.
Nope, it's Wisconsin again.
Oh, what? You would have
So-
said cheese curds, would have been dead on.
Except in emergency situations, honking your horn is illegal.
Is that New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. That's crazy, but that sounds like some New York stuff right there.
Yeah.
Some New York stuff right there.
Some New York stuff.
This state is home to the city known as the toilet paper capital of the world.
Wisconsin?
Yes, it is. It's Green Bay, apparently.
I did not know it was in Green Bay. That's crazy. I thought it was gonna be some toilet paper brand name.
In New York.
Last one here. The ice cream cone, pasta primavera, and eggs Benedict were all invented in this state.
New York.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think you only got, how many did you get wrong? Just one?
One.
Wow. See, you can
Because
tell
my
the difference.
vocabulary is mid.
Is Midwest. It's true.
Just
It's
mid.
true.
Just mid.
I know. If we would have asked you about cheese curds, that would have been too easy.
Yeah, of course. Dead giveaway.